Ian Matakis won a World Series of Poker bracelet online while competing in a separate live tournament, and he cashed in both. The 2023 WSOP offered both online tournaments and live events. Matakis entered both formats with the two competitions overlapping during the same festival. Both formats appeared within the same WSOP schedule. During the online $500 buy-in no-limit Hold'em bankroll builder, he played much of the tournament on his phone while participating in the live event. The phone provided his online seat while he remained at the live event. He won the online event for $120,686. In the live event 12, a $5,000 freeze-out no-limit Hold'em event, he finished 99th for $8,001. Those two cashes were only part of his 2023 run. He recorded 22 WSOP cashes and $881,052 in total earnings that year, winning Player of the Year. 9 cashes were online, 13 were live. Takako Mamiya released one album in 1982, and that overlooked record later became a city pop cult classic. Love Trip was her only full-length release. Kitty Records issued Love Trip on November 25, 1982, with 10 songs. It was recorded at KRS Studio in Tokyo from April 13 through August 28, 1982. The album did not gain widespread attention or a high position on the Oricon charts. Mamiya never released another album or single. After her marriage, she retired from music, leaving no follow-up catalog. Decades later, city pop listeners and DJs interested in Japanese music brought Mayanaka no Joke back into focus. Its urban sound helped turn an overlooked release into a record collectors sought. The revival became measurable in 2014 when a limited reissue of 500 copies sold out shortly after release. Further vinyl and digital reissues followed from 2019 onward, keeping Love Trip in circulation. In Bhutan, most people traditionally use one or two given names without an inherited family surname. Foreign origin names and some prominent family names are exceptions. This naming pattern begins after birth when parents commonly seek a lama's guidance within the baby's first few weeks. Babies are typically not named immediately after birth. The name may come from a religious text, an astrological symbol, the child's birth weekday, or the lama's own name. Some names are also derived from a lama's own name. A naming ceremony takes place at a local temple or monastery. There, blessings are offered to local gods for the child's well-being. Because one-name identities are uncommon abroad, some Bhutanese people use their birthplace as a surname while traveling. Some adults may also assume new names at different stages of life, so the extra name can come from a place, not a family line. Farhan Hadafo moved to Italy as a child for medical treatment, then returned to the Paralympic stage representing Somalia as its first athlete at the Games. Born with arthrogryposis, a condition causing joint stiffness and contractures, he lived in Somalia until age 6. Poor health services led to operations in Italy to improve his condition. He lived with his aunts there. After treatment, he stayed active in a wheelchair and found para-athletics. He entered the T52 class, focusing on 100 and 200 meters. Then he set an Italian 100-meter record, 18.83 seconds, qualifying for Rio. Before Rio, friends helped raise enough money for a custom-made racing wheelchair. That chair gave him equipment for the Paralympic track. In Rio, he ran 18.49 seconds in the T52 100 meters, an African record. He did not advance from his heat, but Somalia had its first Paralympian on the starting line. Weezer had a Broadway concert residency in mind. Then that plan fell through and the band chose a very different direction. Weezer began in Los Angeles in 1992. Since 2001, its lineup has included Rivers Cuomo, Patrick Wilson, Brian Bell, and Scott Schreiner. In 2023, after the residency plan collapsed, Weezer announced the Indie Rock Road Trip, a North American tour instead of a single Broadway run. Modest Mouse and Momma joined the bill. The details supplied here name the touring companions, not every stop or set list. The pivot followed Weezer's 2022 SZNZ project, 4 mini-albums built around the seasons. A Broadway setback became a road trip, showing how one live plan can change shape without ending the music. In 1973, Ali Akbar sold about 300 newspapers a day. By 2025, he sold roughly 40 and was France's last newspaper hawker. He began in Saint-Germain-des-Prés, selling Charlie Hebdo to students near Sorbonne University. Paris then had about 40 newspaper hawkers working the streets. Television news was already reducing newspaper sales in the 1970s. Online news later pushed demand down further, steadily shrinking the trade around him across Paris. Akbar kept selling on Paris streets, shouting "Ça y est" to attract attention. The call became a recognizable sound as his daily sales fell to roughly 40 papers. His long presence made him a recognized part of Parisian community life. A former customer, President Emmanuel Macron, appointed him a Knight of France's Order National du Mérite in 2025. The award marked a street trade that had nearly disappeared, while Akbar still sold papers daily on Paris streets. A children's book cover was rebuilt from 7,500 Loom bands. The 3-week artwork was later auctioned for charity. The Butterfly Club follows 7-year-old Tina. She becomes friends with Selma while they create a butterfly garden. Jacqueline Wilson wrote the novel and Nick Sharratt illustrated it. Tina is separated from her 3 sisters at junior school. A teacher places her beside Selma, who initially frightens her. The shared garden project leads them to become friends. Loom bands also play a part in the novel's plot. Loom artist Samantha Baird made the real-world recreation, linking thousands of individual bands into a cover-sized display. The process took 3 weeks. Baird's recreation was revealed in November 2014 at the Waterstones bookshop in Piccadilly, London. The reveal happened before the novel's February 2015 publication. It remained on display for 2 weeks. Then the Loom band cover was auctioned in a charity fundraiser. A Utah college radio station was criticized for being not educational enough despite operating from a college. Its college affiliation did not satisfy the requirement. Administrators had to change what it broadcast. Snow College's earlier FM station, KEPH, began broadcasting in 1951 as Utah's first college FM station. By the 1970s, its schedule had expanded, but its educational role had not. FCC directives required the college to add educational programming and reduce advertisements for on-campus events. The problem was not the campus setting, it was the station's content. Snow College launched KAGJ, called The Cage, on April 4, 1994. It made student participation part of the station's operation, involving roughly 60 to 80 students each semester. In 2019, KAGJ began live streaming. In 2025, after its faculty advisor retired, Snow College agreed to sell the station and facilities to the University of Utah for $15,000 during a mandated funding reallocation. The sale transferred the license and facilities.